Hello, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hello. I am just coming at you. Hold on, I'm doing my sharing thing. Oh my goodness, if I could spell, that would be awesome. All right. Perfect. Perfect. Yay. Okay, I think I got the sharing thing done. Hello everybody. Welcome. I have an interesting little talk. Hello. I have is Cameron. Okay, so I have an interesting topic today because I had a great, amazing question asked in my Facebook group, which is Empowered Empath Woman. If you're not in my group, Empowered Empath Woman, come on in. We do some fun stuff in there. But that is my community on Facebook. And one of the people in my group asked the question, can an unhealed person heal another unhealed person? She asked if you do healing on others, on things that you've been working on, can you heal people on the things that you're healing from or that you have healed from? And this is really a great question. And she got some great responses. So for those in my group who are watching this right now, you guys are amazing. I love the support you give one another. That's freaking awesome. So the answer is, can an unhealed person heal others? Here's a couple of things that when I'm teaching or coaching on spiritual journey or psychic gifts or being an empath, anything like that, I invite everyone to release the need to label things. And this is part of our work, I feel, as the collective, as humans in our 3D world, that once we release the labels and all of the meanings that are attached to them, it's much easier to evolve ourselves. It's much easier to heal. It's much easier to see things in a different way. And it's much easier to release the things that hold us back and release the things that sometimes keep us in unhealthy patterns. So the word healed, being a healed person or being a healer, those can bring up all sorts of meanings, right? And usually the meanings are judgmental, or they put expectations on you or on people that are created by someone else who has nothing to do with your spiritual journey, who doesn't have your best interests at heart, and who just doesn't know. You know, everyone has their own individual set of circumstances, comes here with their own set of gifts, comes here with their own spiritual journey with its own purpose, and to learn the lessons that they are meant to learn. So it's impossible for us to really say who is healed. I don't think any of us are healed. I don't think we're ever healed. I think in the spiritual world, we are unconditional love and joy energy. Awesome. Like there we are in our perfection and our bliss. If you're here on earth still, then you're still in school, right? We're still here. You're still here to learn. There is no being healed. There's none of that. You're going to be, and if you have that in mind on yourself, I am trying to get healed, then you're going to be very frustrated, disappointed, chasing, searching, feeling less than, feeling like shit, because it's never going to happen. So, and to be fair, I use the word healer in some of my posts and my videos. And when I describe what I do, I use the word heal and healer because right now it still is helpful to give context, to help people understand. But really, ultimately, healing is learning. Healing is learning. There's a heal. When you get a cut and your body heals, you heal. So there's that. Okay, so there's a literal, that's pretty, you can see it. It's tangible. You can see the healing in your physical body. But when it comes to emotional healing, that's not as tangible and it's hard to define it. And it's really never done. It's really never done. There's always work to do. Just when you think you've worked on something for years, something might happen and something pops up again, or something you never thought of pops up. You're triggered by this, like this pain comes up and revisits, or you find yourself in a situation that feels a lot like something else felt decades ago, and you're back there again. It's going to happen. So give yourself the space of not putting any expectations of being healed on yourself, right? So let's say that. So none of us are healed. So can somebody heal another? I would say that every person brings value to your life, even if sometimes the interaction is painful and it sucks and it hurts. I'm not condoning any violence or abuse or anything like that, not in any stretch, not minimizing it, not, trivializing it or condoning it. But I'm saying out of every interaction with any human comes something. We learn something from it. So in my opinion, it all contributes to our journey of, if we want to call it healing, call it whatever you want. But sometimes we put this expectation, in order to heal, we have to jump through 50,000 hoops. We have to have a PhD therapist doing behavioral therapy, cognitive behavioral, doing EMDR, doing all this stuff. We have to find a Reiki master with 5 million certifications, or 5 million blessings from, Tibet, or, all different attunements. You have to have this master to come to you and heal you, or you have to go through this course, or go to a retreat, or go to India for a year. And sometimes, and you're looking to someone who has some sort of credentials. Now, is there value in those things? Yes, there is value in it. But realize, and I invite you to just realize, that it is conditioning. It is conditioning that we have to go to someone who has some credential to find healing. That's an old school mentality. Like when I was young, when I was little in the 70s, it was a therapist was the only way you could heal. Either a therapist or a priest, right? Tell me if you know what I mean. Give me an amen if you remember this. If you wanted to get better and improve yourself, you needed to see a therapist or a priest. And that was pretty much it, right? They were the ones who somehow had the connection. The priest had the connection to God that you didn't have. And the therapist had all these degrees that were, by the way, training based on someone else's opinion of how you're supposed to heal. I can't even get started on this, okay? So they were based on a school of thought and a school of healing. So like, just because Sigmund Freud says that you saw a banana and now you're thinking of phallic symbols for the rest of your life, like they were trained in a school of thought, and they were going to heal you based on that box, okay? So that's how we grew up. It still lingers. We're kind of on the way out, thank God. Like, we're on the way out, and it's painful, right? We're all in pain. This is where the cognitive dissonance comes in, why everyone's fucking fighting on social media. Like, I can't let go of this. Like when I tell people I'm an unschooler, what? Or like a homeschool, unschool hybrid, what? Like, you have to have school, otherwise you're not gonna succeed. It's like, who says that? Who says? Who the fuck says, right? Anyways, that's a whole different topic. But so we're coming out of this, thank God, but it lingers when we still depend on people who have, now it's going more spiritual. Now you need the healer with all these certifications. And I don't want to minimize anyone who has studied and like dove in, learned their shit, mastered their craft, and dove in and did studying. Of course, that's awesome. Of course, it's just going to benefit you, especially if you love it. But is it needed? No, it's not actually. It is nice, and when you're going, this could start arguments. I'm controversial when it comes to trauma healing, because there's a time and a place for trained trauma healers, and then there's a time and a place for, sometimes you never fucking know how your healing's gonna come. You never know. You could talk to somebody on a park bench about, and they just happen to tell you their life story, and they went through something similar that you went through, and boom, you have a breakthrough that you may not have had from 10 years of therapy. You were just ready at that moment. You were ready at that moment to receive something that you had to hear in the way that that person had to say it. So healing comes in all different ways. Sometimes healing comes If you walk down the street and a stranger just smiles at you, you just needed to see a happy face today. You needed someone to look at you and look you in the eye and smile. Maybe you went to the coffee shop and they made your coffee just right the way you like it. You just needed somebody to hear your order, really hear you, and take the time and the love to make it for you. Like, healing could come in little packages like that, or you could do eye movement therapy and find healing in there. It's gonna come in little incremental places, and there's not one right way, and there's not even a wrong way. Like, there are people who take advantage of, their healer practitioner. There are people who are not good in the professions they're in, or they like take advantage of people. But even then we learn something. We learn what we don't want. We learn to trust our intuition more, because we look back and we go, oh, I kind of knew they were a little shady, but I ignored myself. We're going to learn something out of it, right? So it comes in every form. Know that you have the power, whether you're a trained healer, therapist, whatever, teacher, counselor, priest, pastor, or not, you have the power to heal someone just by being, just by connecting human to human in unspoken form, or sometimes the spoken word, sometimes a gesture, sometimes a touch. You have the power to do this. And it doesn't have to be something that you healed. It just might be who you're being in that moment. Who you're being somehow transmits to what that person needed today. And that's okay. So just know that you have this. I want you to know how powerful you are, and that you don't need validation from anyone else. You don't need to feel like, because first of all, none of us are broken. So to even imply healing means we're broken, but we're not. We're not broken. We're just here doing this. We're doing this thing. We're doing this messy ride called life. We're on the roller coaster with each other, really. And so that's where it is. So know that you have this beautiful power to do this, and just being you is enough, And if we knew that, if each one of us knew that, holy shit, imagine the collective healing that could happen, or the collective evolution that would happen if we all knew that we were all healers. And we don't need anyone to tell us anything. We don't need to do anything special. You just need to be you. So with that, I'm going to say thank you for listening, and I'm going to give you a card. This is a card for the collective that I'm pulling, just one for everybody. And this is the Starseed Oracle deck. And so this card says Star Brothers. This card is Star Brothers. And it's interesting because look at that, people who are intertwined together. This is about support. This is how can you open yourself up to receiving more support. Sometimes the healing doesn't happen because we don't open ourselves up to receive. And that's just part of our journey. It's not right or wrong. At that point, you're just not open yet, and that's okay. So this is not saying, hey, open up. You're screwing up. You're not screwing up. But this is, so just think about this. Meditate on this. Are you going to be open? Do you wish to be open? I invite you to be open to receiving more support. And this Star Brothers means trusting other humans so that anyone who comes your way today could be a potential healer for you. Imagine how excited you'd be to interact with other humans if you saw them as the potential to be a healer for you, or part of your healing journey, I should say, because we're not putting expectations and labels on anyone, because then we get disappointed or we get frustrated or whatever. But imagine, it'd be like Christmas morning. Wow, who am I gonna interact with today? Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm here to just work on myself, and I'm here to hold that space for me. A healer holds space for you. That's what a healer does. Hold space for one another. Be the Star Brothers. Okay, so I love you. And those of you who are in my group, Empowered Empath Woman, yay. If you're not, come on in, join us. Also, my Black Friday specials are gonna be the entire month of December. I'm committed to bringing this special work to people at prices they can afford, as I have a range of different products from any kind of budget, because I know this year has been kind of like tough for a lot of people. So I want to still facilitate this work if you're ready to do it and if you align with me. So if you want to go deeper, go to jenrapinion.com/book. That's for sessions with me. For my programs, it's just jenrapanian.com, and you can see everything I have to offer. Everything, the prices have all been slashed, so it's the lowest they've ever been. So with that, much love. Any questions, message me, comment below. You're all amazing, and let's be good to each other.